and welcome to another episode of the House of Fandom. This is your host, Clark, on the check-in, and I am joined by my amazing co-host, starting with Danny, who's got obviously looks like a new production room. What's going on, Danny, and what's up with the 4K?
Man, I just decided to step my game up, man. I think I
Nice.
might have to change my name. It's 4K
Hey,
Danny. Now the House
it's
of
looking
Fandom.
really nice too. I like the
Hey,
way the
4K.
figures, the way the camera is balanced out, the lighting and everything with the figures looks really nice, man. So really awesome setup,
Thank you.
bro.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
definitely, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Shout out. We're going to be doing a GoFundMe now for 4K House of Fandom Danny. This is to help me pay for this equipment. We do it for you. So we're going to drop that in the description below once we're done with this here.
And moving right along to the man over in the top left of the screen, the Batman fanatic, Mr. Spike. What's up, Spike? Good evening.
What's going on, fellas, man? Just here to get my Ron Burgundy
All
on, man.
right,
Let's do
all
it.
right. I hear you, brother. I hear you, man. And last, and certainly not least, obviously he's wearing something that looks to be some sort of DC Superman extravaganza shirt. His dome is shiny as always. He's in a great move, ladies and gentlemen. We have not a Hulk. We've got a Tank. What's up, Tank?
Going on, Clark? What's going on, fellas? And actually, it's Superman and Dragon
Oh,
Ball Z
nice.
emblem
Very
mashup.
cool, very cool. I was wondering. I was like, to be
Nice.
honest with you, I thought it was Zod's, like a throwback of either Bizarro or Zod. The way I couldn't tell
Uh,
the shape until you just told me.
yeah.
So, good
I hit
stuff, man. How
Bizarro.
you doing today?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Ready to get
Yeah,
into it?
let's get into it, man. Obviously, we've got a lot to talk about today, but before I get started, if you haven't already, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe to the House of Fandom. We've got amazing content. We continue to explore different areas of fandom, and we're also on TikTok at House of Fandom 1, and we've got an amazing selection of different videos that we put up, some really cool stuff, starting off with all things fandom. So that's just an extension of our fandom world. So if you have a chance and you want to go down that rabbit hole of TikTok, you can find us at TikTok. So without further ado, I'm going to kick things off and hand it over to you, Tank, because from what I understand, you got a couple of things in that fandom bag.
Yeah, just a couple things. Fortunately, it was a light news week this week. But the first, but there are two good ones though.
Yes.
First item is got two trailers here. First one is trailer for Star Wars Visions.
Star Wars Visions. Okay, well let's go ahead and play it.
Long ago, a great warrior came to this village and entrusted our ancestors with this. Its power and responsibility now lie with you. You've been guided by the Force since you were born.
At last, the moment arrives.
It's the first time I've confronted such darkness. Something ancient and sinister.
We're going to be a proper family.
Let's make this our best show ever!
フォースと共にあらんこと。
I accept this responsibility.
And we are back. Tank, take us along. What did we watch? What did we just watch?
We watched awesomeness. I mean, that was Star Wars and Star Wars and anime mix. I don't know if any of y'all have seen, there's a show on Netflix called Love, Death, and Robots. It's a lot of
Yes.
like the series, a bunch of like all most of them all animations of different kind, and it's like they just talk about completely different stories. I mean, first season was really good. Second wasn't as good, but first season is good. And this kind of seems like that, where except for this is going to be obviously connected to Star Wars, all of them, but it's different stories that aren't really connected to each other. So it looks really looks really interesting. I had no idea this was coming out, but I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely going to check it out. Danny, I know you love Star Wars and anime. Are you hyped about this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's kind of cool because it's kind of like coming full circle. I mean, the inspiration for Star Wars in the first place was, all about, Eastern culture and stuff like that. So the fact that we're going to now come the other way and go back to our roots there and have an anime style, I think Star Wars is the perfect vehicle to have a collaboration like this. So I'm signed up. I'm sold.
Yeah, same here. I'm going to go Spike here. No, you don't fully, into the anime, but I know you like Star Wars. How are you feeling about this?
I think it's a travesty. They want to go and merge anime and start just messing around. Like you guys, well, I don't know about Danny and Clark, but I had no clue that this was out. I saw the trailer and was completely blown away. I do like some anime, just not most of the most popular ones, but I am absolutely going to take a look at this and give it a look. And dude, the clip where this guy pulls out the lightsaber like it's a samurai sword and he's lighting it as he's pulling it out, I got chills looking at that. The fight scenes, the way it moves, like it looks like it's gonna be amazing. Like this is something I could really get.
Sorry. So Tank, I do have a question for you. Do I watch, or anyone that's not really into anime, do I watch it in its native tongue, or do I watch it dubbed?
I would say watch it dub, especially if you're not into anime. There are anime purists who they only watch if it's subbed, because that's just how they want. But me personally, I mean, I'm not a purist. I'm not trying to read while I'm watching uh any type of media. And also, getting older, I got one good eye.
Right.
It's just too hard for me. So I would
Right.
definitely do
But you
dub.
still have the robotic guy, so thankfully for that, right?
How many years it comes out?
There you go. There you go.
When I get money, that's my first purchase.
There you-
Robotic guy.
And let me just say real quick here that like my one gripe with Star Wars in total is that not all the lightsaber battles are really that good. I will honestly say my favorite is probably Revenge of the Sith, the Obi-Wan and Anakin fight. But all the other ones have been okay. So I think if you watch it for anything, you're guaranteeing yourself you're gonna watch some dope lightsaber battles. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
Very cool. Did you have something to say? I think you were, Spike, you look like you were at the edge of your seat, that you were going to provide some feedback about the whole dubbing versus non-dubbing.
Well, yeah, just a quick one. Coming from somebody that doesn't watch a lot of anime, I mean, I have my favorites, Ninja Scroll. But what I found is, if you watch the dub version first, as you get into it more, you get a little bit more intrigued watching it in the native tongue with the subtitles. You can enjoy it that way as well. But initially coming out the gate, if you're not a huge fan or you don't really watch it much, watch the dub version.
3, 2, 1. And Tank, what do we got for the last item in that fandom bag?
All right, so we're gonna switch it over to Marvel. We got the final Eternals trailer.
Nice. All right, let's check it out.
5 years ago, Thanos erased half of the population of the universe. But the people of this planet brought everyone back with a snap of a finger. The sudden return of the population provided the necessary energy for the emergence to begin.
How long do we have?
7 days.
We're Eternals. We came here 7,000 years ago. To protect humans from the deviants.
Why didn't you guys help fight Thanos? Or any war, all the other terrible things throughout history?
We were instructed not to interfere in any human conflicts unless deviants are involved.
By who?
We need to find the others.
I haven't seen some of them for centuries.
Hi.
Hello.
If this is what the end of the world looks like, at least we have front row seats.
You know what's never saved the planet? Your sarcasm.
We've loved these people since the day we arrived. When you love something, you protect it.
You can't protect. Any of them.
I bet you've built the perfect safe house. I mean, what's this even made of? Vibranium?
Fall collection. IKEA.
All right, we are back. So, Tank, take us through the internals.
Yeah, like you said, the trailer's dope. The first like teaser trailer and the first trailer like did not have me all that hyped for it. I'm a little bit more hyped for it. Explain more things about what they've been doing, and also explained kind of a cop out reason as to why they didn't help with Thanos or any other time in history. But yeah, I'm interested. Definitely interested to see where they're going to go with this. They're showing the all what they call the deviants, which is the other version, pretty much other versions of the Eternals. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for this to come out. Go ahead, Spike. How are you feeling about this? How were you feeling before this trailer? How are you feeling after?
Before this trailer, with the original trailer, I thought it was going to be some crap. I thought it was a cash grab. I'm not even going to lie. It was not a good trailer to me. It was not exciting at all. But I saw this one and I got excited. I really did. Angelina looks badass. Selma looks amazing. Rob Stark, because I don't know his real name, but he's a great actor anyway. Everything looks balanced out. Just the way they moved around, and I'm hoping they didn't show us all the good stuff, but some of the fight scenes, the way different things leveled out, it really does have my attention. And I'm not gonna lie, it made me more interested in their backstory. So I'm eager to hear what they have to say about them, where they come from, what they're doing, what's going on with them, to really delve into it. So yeah, it worked for me. The trick worked.
So Danny, question for you. Now I don't know if you know, but Thanos, he actually in the comic books, he is an Eternal, but with a deviant gene. That's why he looks different, how he does in all the other Eternals. Do you
Right.
think do you think they're going to actually mention him more than what they did in the trailer, or show like any flashbacks of him at all?
That's a good question. I mean, hard to really say, but I mean, I wouldn't bet against it, to be honest with you. I mean, heck, I mean, every Marvel movie, there's always been a cameo from a character from somewhere else. So yeah, it's definitely on the table. As far as the movie, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I like this trailer better, but I don't know if I'm sold on it yet. It feels like a very talkative kind of movie, and maybe you think they throw in a little bit more action, which is, you know, barely got in this trailer. This is one of the ones where I think this could be a bomb. I'm not saying it's going to be, but I'm just saying for me, my radar is up. I feel like it can go one or two ways. This doesn't feel like the slam dunk Marvel movies that I'm used to seeing trailers for. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and Clark, just by the way, it's not internals. I started giggling like a schoolgirl, so I'm so glad I had a chance to kind of get the giggles out of my system when he got to me. But it's Eternals, not internals. I I immediately like I looked at the camera.
We just rolled with it, man. We just rolled with
Looking at
it.
the audience. You hear this too? You heard that? Okay.
Oh, I heard it. Absolutely.
Eternals.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, Clark. Question for you, actually, to kind of piggyback a little bit off of what Danny said. I did see a story where the one dude, Icarus, and I think her name is Cersei. The story is apparently the story is going to focus heavily on their relationship. I guess like they were in love for thousands of years and they broke up, and then she's with Jon Snow now.
Jon Snow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob,
I know
oh,
I
yeah,
know I know your criticisms of Loki and the relationship
Right.
that they tried to build with Sylvie and Loki. How do you feel this is going to do if they focus
Well,
on
I
their
think
relationship?
for me the issue I had with the Loki, and I've said it before, which you'd love to point out, is that I didn't like the fact that they were putting a Ozzy and Harriet episode right slap in the middle of a serious like arc, for the villain. The villain was being portrayed as this mysterious, pretty much massacrist, like a killer, and then all of a sudden, bam, we find out who she is, and then bam, they're on an Ozzy and Harriet episode where they go out to Niagara Falls to, to fall in love and all kinds of weird stuff. So for me, I had a problem with that. With this, if it comes naturally and I'm just being introduced to the characters, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'm very much a romantic at heart. I just didn't like it put into Loki the way it was in that second or third episode.
It actually makes sense there. Look at that.
Well, I aim to please.
I still
Sometimes I
never
hit
figured out
one
what Ozzy
over the
Harriet is,
fence.
though. I still don't.
Okay,
I've
but
been
how do
pondering that for
are
a month. I don't know what Ozzy Harriet is, but I'm gonna have to Google it now because it keeps coming up. So it sounds like it's gonna be important.
but so are you hyped for the movie at
To
all,
be
or are
honest
you
with you,
kind of
and again, this is going to go into, and I don't want to, jump the gun because I love to jump the gun. But this is the very thing that I believe Marvel needs to do. They need to start just talking and dealing with original characters, or characters that haven't been explored. When you look at the fact that with this new what if, and we'll talk about it, I know, I again feel like we're going back to the same well, and so, for me, it's like let's move forward and honor the past, but move forward. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. So I'm actually pretty hyped about what this is going to come, what it's going to bring to the Marvel universe.
cool. Well, that is it for
All right,
fandom
perfect, man.
news.
Well, I appreciate it. With that said, I'm gonna hand it over to Danny to take us through this next portion of it as our chief moderator. And by the way, Danny, if I might add, I do love your Tatooine shirt.
Tatooine.
Right, Tatooine. You say Tatooine, I say Tatooine.
This
You
will
said
make it in the final copy. Don't worry about it. We'll move on.
Tatooine.
Son of a bitch.
All right. Well, let's reset this here from the top. Thank you. I will accept your compliment, even though it won't make it into the actual show. That being said, it is main event time, boys. Let's get ready to rumble. Okay. So before we get into it, of course, I do have to tease the audience because before we start talking about our main event, please, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, and subscribe here to the channel of House of Fandom. We have amazing hosts, of course, my man Clark, Spike and Tank, and myself as usual, now going by Danny 4K. Don't forget to check out the boys at Townie Sports on Mondays. Now we can get into the main event. So, first two episodes of the new Marvel series, What If? Clark already made the point a few seconds ago. I mean, we're going backwards here. I'm going to disagree from respectfully in a second here. But before we do, let me set this up for everybody here. So in regards to the What If series, it is a theory of what could have happened here. And it is not going to be a rehash of what we've already gone through. Keep in mind, Marvel is setting up for the very next phase of their universe, which has to do with the multiverse. We got little pieces of it when it came to not Scarlet Witch. What am I saying? Yeah, Scarlet Witch, right?
Yeah, WandaVision, Scarlet Witch. Yeah.
WandaVision. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, WandaVision. We had a little bit of a Loki at the end of that one. Spoiler for anybody who hasn't watched it yet. And this is just going to keep playing into that here. Kevin Feige has gone on record and already said this is going to be crucial to the world building of the new multiverse saga that we're going to go through here. So stay tuned for that, folks. We are going to dive into this 2 episodes at a time. We'll take a break in between, cover 2 each and every other week, and we'll throw some other content in between. Now, having said that, we had our very first episode. This is what I like to call the warm-up, ladies and gentlemen. So we had the Peggy Carter episode 1, What If? So before we go into details of it here, I would love to get the panel's kind of their own personal opinion of what they thought of the first episode. And then we will cover the second episode after that with my man Chakala. Hey. All right. So starting with my favorite opinion of the panel at all given times, because you just don't know what it's going to come out of his crazy mouth. He's looking at me. He knows who he is. Clark, my man, please set us off. What If? Episode 1. Tell us your first impressions.
We all know at first I was not really excited about, the prospect of going through another animated, whether it's Star Wars or Marvel or whatever you want to call it. And so I went in there with a lot of trepidation. I will just say that. I thought it was interesting. I'm not going to, hate just to hate, as Tank would say. I actually, I thought it was an interesting concept. But my only concern is that, one, I feel as though we're going back to the old well to propel this whatever this new world is going to be. And so for me, I just felt like we were rehashing story arcs that happened already. And I understand it's supposed to be a twist of what if it went down this way. But for me, at least, I want to move forward and get into the continuing journeys, adventures, or what have you of the characters, or be introduced to new characters such as Shang-Chi and the Eternals. There we go. Yeah, Eternals. So that's my that's my initial feedback to you.
Okay, no problem. I mean, respect that. There, we'll see. There's only 2 episodes in, so you might actually get your wish over there. Excuse me 1 second. Got a phone call about fantasy football. Sorry, man, Townie. I'm busy right now. We got a Thursday show. Just kidding. I have no idea who that was. But all the same, yeah, hey, listen, Clark, no problem. I mean, I think we're all anxious to see what's going to happen next with Marvel. But keep an open mind. And you strike me as a kid who had a problem coloring in the lines when you were a kid.
Listen, I admit I'm a theatrically trained professional performer. I like to be a little over the top.
May I ask you a question, if I may? What did you think of the animation style? Did you like the way it was?
I'll be honest with you. I really thought the animation was probably one of the top highlights of the production. I really enjoyed the animation. I had problems with animation in other areas that we've talked about before. I think primarily it was Invincible, I believe it was, where I didn't really like the animation so much, but I actually liked the animation.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually liked it better than the Star Wars, as you know. The Bad Batch.
Thank you.
The animation, yeah.
Okay, very good. All right.
Please, without further ado.
Absolute. Spike, without further ado, sir, the floor is yours. What are your first thoughts of the What If series that we're covering today?
The series of the episode.
The episode. We're going to go with the first episode.
Okay,
1.
Yeah, the episode 1. For everybody that's ever seen Deuce Bigelow, I think it was the European one. But That's a huge. That's the first thing I thought about when I saw this episode, man, with Captain Carter. um, the series for me, the show, either the two. I know we're going to each one, but it was good for me. It was good for me. I enjoyed it. I liked the way that it was put together, the differences, and I will say this: I didn't think I would like this episode. I did not. I did not think I would like this episode, but I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it panned out pretty good for me. So, I've been hype about the series itself, but I did not believe I would like this episode at all. But I like the way they did everything. It came out pretty well, and to your point about the animation, I thought it was really good.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
nice and crisp.
I agree with you. I forgot to even think about bringing that up there, but Peggy has not skipped the gym. Let's leave it at that. She's built up. She's ready
And
to be
tall.
the captain.
That
Did she
it's
get taller too? Did
yes.
she got taller too?
She's huge. It took
I
the
know
whole
Steve was
episode to get
short. I
used
know
to.
Steve was like
know,
yay
but-
high to her. I noticed that, but I didn't know she grew. I just thought he was always shorter than her. But
Dude, she looks like a
well,
linebacker. I was afraid.
all right. Well, without further ado, we got Mr. Tank over here. Mr. Tank, you and I have been talking on and off about the show since it premiered last week, and I'd love to get your feedback on what your first impressions were of the first episode.
First, I mean, it was good. I mean, it wasn't great. It was okay. I would say it was okay. It was more so just especially after seeing the second episode, because this one was just pretty much just mostly it's until the end thing. It was pretty much like cut for cut, just a reversal thing of
So
Captain
you agree
America:
with
First
me
Avenger.
that it was it was redundant and it was repetitive. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. If you want, that's what you want
I
to hear.
don't think all of that. I had a different perspective of that, but go ahead, Tank.
I mean, like I said, it was still good. It was just especially like it was just it was just pretty much just cut for cut until until the end, cut for cut, the same thing as Captain America. I mean, it was still it was it was a lot of good differences, like when Bucky was about to be thrown off the train, she caught him. Then he had to say, "You almost ripped my arm off." Obviously, making a joke about
how that happened.
yeah. It was also Iron Man, the first Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
So that was good. So there were things in there that were good, but it was still for the most part just a cut for cut, just taking I guess I'll say from that point in the actual movie, an hour 30 minutes and putting it into 25-minute show.
Right.
Whereas
almost like playing the greatest hits instead. It kind of felt like, right?
correct. Yeah. I mean, but the implications of it at the end, because I can't remember, I forgot what his name is, the big tentacle monster that came out of the portal. That actually that's actually a Doctor Strange villain, like an actual really powerful Doctor Strange villain. So that could come into play. Like I can't remember if these are canon. I think they are. So that could come into play.
That's interesting.
In the Multiverse of Madness. So that
there you go. Way to put it together there, Tank. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. I mean, yeah, and Clark, including yourself, I agree with you too. It was definitely one of those ones where it just felt like I've seen this all before. So, my positives out of it. I like the animation. That's why I kind of asked you guys your opinion, because I did like the animation there. It was okay. It was an okay episode, but I felt like, this was going to be the weakest one. And I feel like they did it intentionally, because I just feel like, okay, this is a high concept kind of thing. What if sounds simple enough, but to some people, you got to let them know what they're about to start watching, because I think the more episodes come on, if they're trying to build up hype for the new multiverse movie that's coming out with Doctor Strange, I think they're trying to set it up easily for the audience to digest what they're going to start watching, and then episode by episode, it's just going to start picking up. Then eventually, I'm hoping there's a huge payoff at the end. It could be I'm wrong on this here. I don't know. It's too soon to tell. But I hope that is the direction they're going to, because I don't want to stay committed to a show where it's going to be a lot of up and down episodes when I can kind of watch them all at once and be done with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it was I'm sorry. What's up, man? You raised your hand. I like that.
Yeah, I don't want to cut you off, bro.
No. You raised your hand.
You struck me with a couple of things here, because I look at things, I think, from a general perspective, like not as deep as you guys in a lot of ways. And one of the things that stood out to me about that episode, like everything you're saying, I agree with. But one thing that it really dawned on me is Peggy goes and she has the shield, and she's immediately like a beast like Cap with the shield. It made me think about how
Right.
cold Cap was when he got the shield.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me a whole new respect for Falcon because he doesn't have any enhanced abilities. He's just a man. So to be able to wield the shield or practice with it or get even anywhere near halfway decent with it puts a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother level and plateau onto him. It made me look at him in a whole new light, especially with the coming of him being the next Cap, because she did it effortlessly, like she was
Yeah.
born with it, and just like Cap. And so even though they don't show everything, it just brought that kind of perspective to me to really make me think about the abilities, what that serum does, how they move and what's happening there. And I think that kind of helps a lot of people to kind of put in perspective who he really was, what the serum does, and then also set the stage for looking at Falcon in that way. Because remember, in the series, he turned down that serum, the idea of using a serum when he was
Right.
talking to different guys and stuff. So some of that for me is like a nice little build up, like you're saying, and introducing and getting ready for what's to come. For a lot of us that don't think as deep, or maybe guys that haven't read a lot of the stories or the comics. So it's a little bit deeper than just, screen by screen, you know what I'm saying? Like a carbon copy of what you would see, but on a different flip. There's other little nuances and things in there like that that can make you think a little bit like,
Yeah.
just something
No
that I
doubt.
picked up and noted. Yep.
Yeah, no, that's a good catch right there. And shout out to the new Captain America. We we didn't put it in fandom news, but it did break. He's official for Captain America 4. So I'm glad you brought that up there because he's gonna get his own official movie here. So bravo Tim, congratulations on that there. Definitely gonna be out there checking out myself when it's available. Yeah, so I mean, absolutely there, Spike. I mean, as far as like there's gonna be a lot of Easter eggs in this here. A lot of Easter eggs in here. For me, I quite frankly, I'm curious because of the animation itself. Because I mean, Tank and myself can tell you that we love DC animated, and we're not trying to shoehorn DC into a Marvel episode over here. But I've always said to myself that when it comes to movies, Marvel is king at the moment. But when it comes to like a good comic book animated movie or show or whatever, DC's always had their number. Like it's not even close. Not even close. So I was curious to see because Marvel doesn't release animation movies anymore. They really don't. They haven't for years now. So the fact that they're continuing their Marvel universe and doing it animated has got me excited here. And I do like the style of it here. I think it's, at least visually speaking, it's going to be a heck of a ride on that side of things. All right. Well, good, good. Well, hey, let's talk about episode 2. We'll come back to episode 1. We'll kind of talk about them together. But I want to talk about episode 2. I mean, I absolutely love this episode. This one was super cool on so many levels. Episode 2 of What If was all about if T'Challa, aka Black Panther, excuse me, became Star Lord instead. That's a super high concept there because the two do not mesh at all. But I think, for at least for myself speaking first, I think that was so much more of a stronger episode than the first one with Peggy Carter. So I'd like to get the panel involved in this one quick here. We'll talk about it together here. Clark, you kind of been a little bit stronger as far as your opinions on the first episode there from our talks off camera as well. Did you have any different reaction when you saw this one? Did you feel somewhat the same?
No, I actually did. I had a definitely a different reaction. I actually thought it was really a fun episode, in that it was like you said, the concept, the interesting. I mean, I thought it was really, as we say in the DC world, batshit crazy, but I thought it was anytime you can get you know a character such as T'Challa and change him into another pretty much iconic character, right, in Star Lord, and then you just switch it around. I listen, I was impressed by that because it was changing the character. You know what I'm saying? And that to me was a lot different than what Tank and and I know to an extent you brought up, Danny, with regards to just feeling like that first episode was just a
Danny
replay.
4K.
Yeah, like a
Mhm.
replay. Oh, excuse me, Danny 4K. Like a
Yes.
replay. So I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna. I ain't gonna shiz on it just to shiz on it. I've always said my opinion's my opinion, and I am always going to be faithful to my House of Fandom fans and tell them yes, yes, yes when I love something, and I'm going to tell them no, no, no. I'm not going to drink that Kool-Aid. I'm not going to drink from the well of the Marvel verse and all that other stuff that you guys, DC and whatever and Batman and all this stuff. If it ain't good, it ain't good. And that goes for my precious Superman as well. That's all I have to say. I have no regrets.
Okay. Well, looks like we
Yes.
found our TikTok clip for the show. That'll be on
Pretty
there
much.
tomorrow. Okay. Well, thank you, Clark. We appreciate that there. I'm not going to talk to you for a few minutes there because you shamelessly plugged yourself. But
Thank you. I
all
have
the
no
same there.
regrets.
You're welcome. Yeah, I know you don't. I know you don't. Take my man. Go a little deeper into this episode. We saw some really cool cameos. We saw some Easter eggs in this. This was a very interesting episode on so many levels. But tell me, what did you think about some of the alterations to some of our beloved characters in the Marvel universe here? Were you a bit surprised by some of them? Did you think some of them didn't hit the mark, or did you feel like they all were like a big, I don't know, improvement, if you will, from what they were before?
Once I love this episode. First to start off started off like thinking it's going to kind of be the same, where this is going to be cutting cookie cutter just a different character, but then right away, I can't remember his name. Uh, the guy who he said when it
I know you're
start,
talking about the guy from Guardians 1 when he's
yeah,
like, Star
yeah,
Lord. He would turn
yeah,
out to be a
Mhm.
fanboy instead.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But this time he this
Diamond
time,
Hansen.
yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. But this time start T'Challa, because T'Challa turned Star Lord into what Peter Quill wanted him to be. Like
Yeah.
he's like he's out here actually saving the galaxy, being the space Robin Hood.
Right.
So it changed that. I mean, like the implications of T'Challa being Star Lord reached so deep. It's crazy. He changed Thanos, made Thanos into a good.
Massive. I
Yeah,
was not expecting
yeah.
that.
When I saw that, I was like, seriously, how did T'Challa make Thanos good? A good guy. How did this happen?
Mhm.
And even if you think about, I don't want to go too far, but you think about that. That changes so much of the
That changes 10 years of
MCU,
what we've been watching.
because the
The
first
whole 10 years.
Avengers movie they only started because Thanos sent Loki and the Chitauri to Earth.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't
Yep.
that doesn't happen now.
No.
So
Right.
so the Avengers don't form.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Just don't form. Um, so that was great. Then the Collector. I liked it. He actually, because like actually in the comic books, like Collector is a really powerful being, like him and the
Right.
Grandmaster. In the
Right.
in the movies, he was not that at all. Like he had a
No.
well, he wasn't portrayed that way. He wasn't
Mhm.
portrayed. He was portrayed as like a sneaky guy stealing stuff,
Yeah.
which he
Kind of like
is.
a historian.
Yeah,
Kind
which
of
he
reminds me like a little brainiac-ish where he
yeah
takes certain
yeah
species and stuff like that.
which
Yeah.
which he is, but he actually is powerful and
He is.
a badass. So they actually showed that. I like that they showed that showed him that he put up all those weapons, which obviously shows that the Avengers not together. They obviously were probably easy for the picking. That's why he
Mhm.
had all the he had Cap Shield, he had Mjolnir, which
Right.
interesting how he got Mjolnir. Even because
Right.
even if you beat up Thor, it's still you're still not
It's
able
gonna
to
be
still
worthy
get pick it
still.
up.
I mean, that rule still has to apply, I'm assuming.
Yeah. What was weird was how I guess Hela's helmet gives Hela's powers. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. I
Um,
know it came from there.
oh yeah. Also,
Either.
Nebula had hair. That was
Yeah.
and she would
Yeah.
and her and T'Challa were obviously smashing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They
Um,
flipped the sisters though. It
yeah,
was Gamora with Star Lord, Peter
Mhm.
Quill, but it was Nebula, and Nebula didn't have all the robotics.
yeah. She only had
You
the eye,
notice that? She just had the
Mhm.
eye. That's
and
it. So
I
kind
got
of interesting there.
yeah, and I do gotta say this. Like, where's Gamora?
Ah, but in Yes.
But
Yes.
but yeah, and also like I like how like even though Thanos was good, he still wants to snap everybody.
Yeah.
He still
T'Challa
wants to.
talked him out of it, but
He
it's like,
still
well,
wants.
hold on. Like, I'm gonna tell other people about it. I'm gonna just get their feedback because I still feel like it's a good plan.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Right.
yeah, I love this episode. I love how it was it showed actually was what I was wanting from a what if episode. It was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
different
yeah.
take, and it showed how much that that one thing or one person being someone else could change everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's a heck of an episode just because of the implications of the differences of what he could accomplish as Star Lord compared to what Peter Quill did. Just because I mean, 10 years of Marvel doesn't happen if
Yeah,
T'Challa was the kid who was taken by Yondu back on the spaceship all those years ago. So it's a wild concept, and I think this is like the payoff that has really got me sold in wanting to see these next few episodes here because I mean, the first episode was kind of paint by numbers. Sorry, I don't mean to offend you, Clark, because I know you can't paint by number because you can't color because you can't color. But yeah, I mean, it was
Yes,
paint by numbers in
I
the
can
first
feel
one.
your anger. Keep on.
No anger here. No, but I mean, the first one was kind of paint by numbers, just to kind of get the audience kind of the idea, the concept of the show. And I feel like this one took it from 0 to 100. On the scale of like, holy crap! I see another. Drax, for example, was a bartender at that same planet that he was on there, and his wife and kids were alive. Thanos never killed them. I mean, Ronan never killed them. Excuse me. So I mean, everybody's life got so much better because T'Challa was Star Lord. So it's a crazy thing, and I feel like we're kind of crapping on Peter Quill. Peter Quill's still dope. That's my boy. I got him up there, but I mean, I can't front. I mean, T'Challa did it better. He did it better here. So I mean, it's interesting. Spike, for yourself, I mean, tell me a little bit about how you felt about the show in your own words, and also the second part of the question here, like, what do you think is going to happen on the next episodes going forward? I'm going to bring that the Spike question. I always
Of
like to ask
course,
you
that's
those.
that's that's
I
the
always
the
like to
love
ask
you love that question. This episode was really good for me because it caught me off guard. The beginning did seem like it was literally going to be just like Guardians of the
Here we
Galaxy.
go again. Another
Yeah,
one.
but it caught me pretty quick because I started looking at the idea that they took the time to put in not just T'Challa as Star Lord, but the comedic aspect of Guardians of the Galaxy. Like they start right out with the quirkiness, the little things in there, just like you would in a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So it got my attention. Um, who else could they get but the most beloved T'Challa? Okay, and he was received very well as Black Panther. They took that same premise and implemented it as him being Star Lord. As you stated before, all of you guys, he changed the course of that particular timeline. There is no Avengers, which means there's no Gamora because Thanos is not pillaging and plummeting planets. Remember, he took her after he killed her mother. So Gamora's still with her family. Fine. That's why you don't see her. you know, um, the idea of peace throughout the galaxy and what they were doing with that whole Robin Hood concept of it. The warmth that you felt of him as that character, and I like how they showed that everybody that came in contact with him had nothing but great things to say about him. Like he truly did change their life. I thought that the concept of Nebula as like the little sex pot was awesome. It was completely
A little
different.
femme
Never
fatale
saw her
action
that
there.
particular
Yeah.
way. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And then even like the little things, calling him Cha Cha, that was dope to me. I like it. That was a nice little touch to give
A
him
little
that little
play there,
man.
right?
Yeah, yeah. That was really cool for me. Um, it was awesome to see Thanos, in another light, but still be Thanos. It's like, don't make me go back that way. We got to
Right,
see him fight a
exactly.
little bit, so he's not all the way converted. He's one of those guys like you see in the old action movies, I gave that life up, he don't want to get, kind of like John Wick, I don't want to go back there, but you can push me there, So
Right.
that was
I'm
awesome.
with you on
And
that.
then Yondu was one of my favorites from Guardian of the Galaxy. So watching him just in general, I mean, that dude's trash. And the fact that he's able to turn him around as well says a lot. So, I was like very pleasantly surprised. And I thought as I got about halfway through the episode that this is absolutely like a tribute or something, like a little knock to Chadwick Boseman. And then, of
Mm-hmm.
course, they completed that at the end with the whole little, if you saw it in the credits, the tribute.
Yep, I did.
I
That was
just thought
very
it was,
sweet.
yeah, it was beautifully done. It was nostalgic. It was, the right way to do it, and it was a really good episode, put together. So
Yeah.
I agree with you guys. It was leaps and bounds better than the first one, absolutely. But I didn't think I would like it as much because I like to see Black Panther fighting and doing his thing, and they had enough action. And to Tank's point, I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't know the Collector was a badass. I just thought he was kind of like a shyster, you know what I'm saying, that had different little hookups and power, but he was cold. I enjoyed watching him whoop him up and get busy. So yeah, it was just great. It's great.
So, Spike, let me ask you this real quick, not to cut you off here.
No, you're good.
But I got the list of the next episodes that are coming up in the order. So we just had Captain Carter. We got T'Challa Star-Lord. Next week is going to be a Loki episode. Follow back when we come back to review the next two episodes. It's going to be Doctor Strange. So
Doctor Strange is after Loki?
yeah, so we got Loki next Wednesday. Then the following Wednesday, we're going to have Doctor Strange. So
Okay.
two of those over here. So we just had the Loki series where we've been talking and kind of hyping up the Doctor. I think this Doctor Strange movie is going to be ridiculous. Full disclosure. I keep talking about it because I think this one is going to be like an Avengers level movie. I think is a huge cast. That I think it's going to be one of those kind of movies. I think they're going to go all out. But yeah, so we have Loki, Doctor Strange, followed by a Thor episode, a Killmonger episode with Tony Stark. Then following, we have Marvel Zombies, which I love zombies, so I'm looking forward to that one there. Gamora versus Tony Stark, and lastly, an Ultron episode for the finale. So I think this question, now that I'm reading this off here, I think this question is too big for just one panel member here. I think we just need to open this up to everybody. So, Spike, I'm going to give you a second here. Clark, my man, that's a heavy duty lineup of episodes of major characters that you said you like, and looking forward to it now after seeing this episode. I mean, now that you've seen what they can do with the Chala episode, do you have higher expectations going forward, or you think this is going to be a very niche product for you?
So first, let me just say, to put it in a nice little bow, right, and put it in a nice little present here. One, it goes without saying. We'd be remiss not to say part of the reason that I loved this episode was it was the final performance of Chadwick Boseman, because obviously that was his last voice as the character. So I think that played into it a little bit for me, because I just I mean, it was a good episode, but also it was definitely, bittersweet. You know what I mean? Because knowing that it was his last,
Yeah.
performance, and so for me, that played, I think, into it as well, from a viewer being attached to the character that was portrayed so amazingly. And I've said it before, just like Christopher Reeve, and Superman, Chadwick Boseman made an amazing Black Panther. I mean, he was the one that was destined for it, and that's a tough act to follow. And I know that's a whole other episode to talk about, but that played into my feelings of really going from one episode to the other and really wanting to see this, because I wanted to see this. I heard about it. I heard it was his final performance, and so I wanted to see it. And so obviously I was going to grade it, big time. I'm interested in some of the things that you mentioned in there. I'm intrigued with where they'll go with the Gamora episode. I'm also intrigued with where they'll go with the episode. I think it was with who it was.
You want me to
Yeah,
run
run
it
it
back for
back
you there?
by me
So
one
we
more
got
time. Yeah,
we got Loki coming up
the
next,
Loki one.
followed by Doctor Strange. Following that, we have Thor, then Killmonger versus Tony Stark.
I like that one. Right.
Marvel Zombies.
I like that too.
So,
that seems like an original
Gamora
concept.
versus. They've done that in the comics before, so I'm actually
Well, I
excited
know,
about
but
that
I'm
one
just
being
saying
adapted.
to see it realized. Hmm.
Oh, agreed.
Yep.
And then the last two is Gamora versus Tony
Yep,
Stark.
that was
And for
one I
the
was.
finale, we're going to be seeing Ultron
Yeah,
again.
that's trash. I mean, I hate Ultron. I don't like his bullshit. I never did. I thought he was a whiner. He reminded me of General Grievous, to be honest with you. If you really want me to go Star Wars wise, just complain and he bitched
Totally
about
disagree
shit
with
all the
that, but
time.
okay.
Ultron's modeled
All
after
right.
Tony Stark, but
All right.
okay.
So now that you know the episodes, are you excited about them? Besides, clearly
Well, I
Ultron
mean,
right now, I
listen,
guess.
maybe I need to be specific that I didn't like the way he was portrayed in
No,
the
I
Marvel
don't need
movie.
to. I don't need to know your backstory about
Well,
Ultron.
no,
I just
no.
want to know how you feel
Listen,
about
it's
stuff
okay.
coming up.
I would love to tell you. You know, I one did not like the way he was portrayed and realized in the Age of Ultron. So that's just
Okay,
my
fair enough.
opinion, you know. But I mean, but again, I'm. It's an interesting concept. I'm intrigued by it. I will watch it obviously for the show, but also as a fan of the multiverse. I am concerned though that is this really giving us a blueprint of the multiverse, or is this just a standalone thing? Because that's what I get from it.
No, I think this is showing alternate versions of all these
Yeah,
characters. I think that's what the what if is.
right. I understand that. I just don't think that this is as world building as you have maybe excuse me, you have presented it. You know, I know you were saying that this could lead into other things, and again, I'm not questioning whether or not you're right or wrong. I just feel like maybe this is just not going to give us all the answers we need to propel the story. That's all.
I don't think it's going to propel it, but I think it's going to nudge it along. If I can be honest on
I
that,
would love
there, I
to,
think it's
yeah,
more
I'd
of
love to conversate with once all the episodes. Let's see how it
it's
goes.
yeah, it's an adaptation of a storyline that Marvel's done in the
Right.
past. Kevin Feige has gone on record and said that this has to do with the Multiverse of Madness, the Doctor Strange #2. So I have the answers for you there. Like it's been confirmed by Marvel president Kevin Feige. Yes, it is part of it there. How much of it's going
Well,
to get
that's what
into
I
it,
mean.
we don't know.
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
But my question was, did you think you were going to like it or get more excited of the next episodes moving forward because of this last episode?
Well, I think honestly, again, I think nostalgia played into it, so I'm not certain that I'm totally vested in this, or I'm not convinced yet that I'm gonna like the total of its sums. You know what I'm saying? The total experience.
I
I think
got
I'm
you.
gonna judge
Okay.
it based
All
on
right.
each
Guess
episode. That's how I feel.
we'll just play the wait and see.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you,
my
Clark.
pleasure.
Tank, my man. I feel like you want to jump through that screen, say smash. So help me out here, bro. I mean, I know you liked it. I don't know why you got your hands up, but I don't know. I know you liked it over there.
Oh, I
Tell
was
me. I
just
mean, I
looking
just
up
wanted to learn.
because my neighbor is Tank. He lives upstairs. Hey, Tank.
Well, that's the dumbest thing I've heard
Thank you.
today,
Thank
but
you.
I'll
Thank
move
you.
on and
Thank you.
assume I didn't hear
Thank
that.
you.
Brother man, help me out here, bro. I feel like I'm on a river by myself over here, swimming downstream.
Yes.
Get me out of this one here, man. I mean, what's your excitement level for this What If series here? I feel like I'm the only one hyped about this. I don't know what's going on tonight.
No, no. My son is pretty high. I know for a fact that Chadwick Boseman, I think he did. They said he was voiced him in 3 or 4 episodes. So that
Yes.
leads me to believe that it's kind of going to be like in a the Avengers type thing, where they're probably going to introduce all the characters, and then they might either intertwine with each other, or even maybe like the last episode is all these what if characters coming through and fighting Ultron with the Infinity Stones.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. That would be kind of cool. And I think Clark might like Ultron if he did all that stuff. That makes a lot of sense. Kill two birds with one stone. Kevin Feige knows that Clark does not like Marvel, apparently. Well, listen, I'm going to throw in my hat in this here real quick. Episode that I'm excited about the most, because it's such an intriguing one for me. Killmonger versus Tony Stark. Bro, I got excited about that one when I saw the trailer, the little tidbit where Tony Stark is in the desert in that first Iron Man movie, and Killmonger is the one who saves him instead. I think that's going to be a sick episode. I mean, does that mean Tony Stark is going to be a bad guy? Does it mean Killmonger is going to be a good guy? Michael B. Jordan already confirmed he is not going to be Black Panther in the next Black Panther movie. I disagree. I don't know if that's true or not. He's saying that. Who knows what will happen? But I think at least this episode for me, because that's a big question I'm curious about, who will be Black Panther moving forward. I think this might be a setup to give us a hint of who might take up the mantle.
You think it'll be
moving forward here? I don't know who can be.
Right.
I'm not saying I know for sure if it's going to be Shuri, his sister,
Right.
or Killmonger or somebody else here. But I got a funny feeling you're going to go to Wakanda in that episode, and there's going to be somebody else on that throne.
Yeah, but do
So
you think it's going to be a female or a male? Like, do you think they'll keep it within the
I mean, it's possible.
yeah?
I forget her name, but it was Black Panther's love interest in that movie. I forget her name. She was
Oh
in
yeah,
that
Lupita.
she was in the
Lupita.
movie Get Out. You know
Nakia.
the one that
Lupita.
yes,
Lupita
Lupita.
Nyong'o.
Thank you.
Yeah, but her
Yes, yeah.
character is Nakia.
There you
Her,
go.
yes, and characters and Kia. Man, you guys are awesome. That's why I like hanging out with you guys. You know all the names. I don't have to remember any of them. But yeah, I mean, it could be her. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of potential candidates for it there. But yeah, for me, I mean, I'm most excited about seeing that one because I think I might get some answers to my Black Panther question. We'll see. All right. Well, gentlemen, real quick, I mean, great stuff here, guys. Let's go into our rating the first two episodes. We're going to combine them together. So I don't want you guys to feel obligated to give two different grades out for this one year. So we're just going to do what if episodes 1 and 2 together out of 5 stars. Let's start with Tank. Tank, my man, help me out here, bro. What would you rank this first two episodes of What If?
Between the two of them, this is mainly going to the T'Challa episode.
Fair enough.
I'll give it 4 stars.
All right, no problem. Peggy Carter got a little boost just being plugged in with T'Challa.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's happy about that. All right. Spike, if you can please, sir, tell me out of 5 stars, sir.
Same. I was going with 4 stars specifically because of nostalgia with T'Challa. Peggy definitely got a boost because of that. I was yep, 4 stars.
Peggy's about to do a victory lap tonight. All right, and Clark, yourself, sir.
I'm gonna go with 3.5 stars.
Okay, no
I guess
problem.
so.
Perfect.
Yeah, I would have. Standalone. I would have given it. To be honest with you, I would have gone with 5, and that's just because I had such respect for the actor and the character that I would have went with a 5. But Peggy really kind of just that episode didn't do it for me. Very Amazon-ish.
TikTok clip number 2 coming at you. That's the soundbite there. Okay. All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna make it short and sweet for me. I'm gonna go 4.5 just because I'm gonna give Peggy a little bit of love. My boy T'Challa pretty much did carry the grade. However, I think she needs to get a little bit of love. It was cool to see her as a superhero because she is a badass even without the serum as well too. So plus, we equal opportunities here at the House of Fandom. Okay. So yeah, we'll leave it at that for there. Okay. Well, that concludes our review of episodes 1 and 2 of What If here at the House of Fandom. Before we let you go, if you like what you've seen and heard today, please like, share, and subscribe here at the House of Fandom. Every like you give and every share that you have will help grow the audience and grow our channel here. And we would love to provide you great content like this on a more frequent basis here. So that's going to be it for Danny 4K. Clark, you want to take us home?
Absolutely. Thank you again, Danny. That was amazing moderating. And thank you to my fellow co host, Mr. Spike and Mr. Tank. And of course, Danny. Danny, everyone else, once again, it's a pleasure always. Please tune in to another episode. We go live next week on another episode of the House of Fandom. We actually, and Danny, you can help us out here. From what I understand, we've been toying about transitioning for NFL season to a Wednesday show. Is that something we're ready to announce yet?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good time to kind of bring that up to you. And so we are going to be moving nights due to my fandom of NFL football. Sorry, I got to watch the Thursday games. I apologize. This is on me, really. But yeah, moving forward, most likely this Wednesday, we'll let the fans know on our page, on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok when the next episode is. But when we do come back this next week, it will be a retro review from a galaxy far, far away. Clark, you want to tell them what we're going to be reviewing next week?
I cannot wait to talk about this episode because we are going to journey back to a galaxy far, far away for Revenge of the Jedi. You heard that right. Before the ass clowns of Lucasfilm realized that Jedis don't get revenge, they actually called it Revenge of the Jedi. And 2 trailers came out before someone at Lucasfilm was like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't do that revenge thing. But a lot of interesting facts on that, including a lot of trivia. So I'm excited about that episode. And I know Tank is super excited about it. Right, Tank?
Tank loves Star
Yeah.
Wars. He loves it.
Hey, we all
It's his favorite.
I could tell he's really excited. So anyway, before we go, I want to say we've got an amazing composer of amazing beats. I go without saying, every week we have different episodes where we talk about this gentleman, Joel Steel Frame, who is an amazing collaborator with the House of Fandom. I actually loaded in a different song to play this week. Tank, you want to close us out with that amazing story?
Well, you didn't tell me what song it is, but yeah.
It's called Church. It's called Church.
All right. All right. So we'll close out with the song Church by my boy Joel Torres, aka Steel Frame Music.
All right. Good night, wherever you're at. And thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the House of Fandom.
Take care, everybody.
Take care, everybody.